Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking a deep, fascinating dive into FIFA's massive growth strategy for the 2026 cycle. But look, we're not just going to talk about this like standard football fans. Instead, we're putting on our business hats and dissecting the organization's incredibly ambitious moves using a classic structured business framework. So get ready, because the sheer scale and speed of what FIFA's attempting right now is, honestly, it's pretty mind-blowing.
All right, let's just jump right into this incredibly staggering number. $13 billion. Yes, you heard that right, $13 billion with a B. That represents FIFA's revised revenue target for their 2023 to 2026 budget cycle. To put that into perspective for you, that is a massive 72% jump from the Qatar 2022 cycle. It's a monumental leap. So you're probably wondering, how on earth does an established organization plan to almost double its revenue in just 4 years? Well, it takes an astonishing level of ambition and, maybe a little bit of audacity. To figure this out, we're going to decode exactly how they plan to pull this off. We'll be looking at their ultimate growth bet, the safe cash engine, new products for a known audience, a high-risk gaming gamble, and finally, a completely compressed 12-month sprint. You'll see exactly how they're transforming from a traditional tournament operator into a complex, four-quadrant corporate growth machine. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the ultimate growth bet. Let's decode the strategy. To truly grasp this massive shift, we really need the right strategic lens. Because if we just look at match schedules or team announcements, we completely miss the business reality of what's actually happening in the boardroom. Enter the Ansoff Matrix. It's a deliberately simple 2x2 framework that maps out growth strategies. It basically looks at two questions. Are you selling an existing product or a new product? And are you selling to an existing market or a new market? The golden rule here is that your risk rises significantly as you move from what you know toward the entirely new. This framework immediately surfaces what the standard sports headlines are totally missing about FIFA's actual risk appetite.
Just look at how these four distinct quadrants of risk map out. In the top left, you got market penetration. That's your safest bet, just doing what you already do best. Moving down to market development or across to product development, well, your risk becomes medium to high as you change one of those variables. And finally, in the bottom right, diversification. New product, new market. That is your absolute highest risk. Today, we're going to see exactly how FIFA is actively navigating every single one of these quadrants right now, starting from the safest and moving all the way to the riskiest.
Moving right along to Section 2, the safe cash engine, covering quadrants 1 and 2. Let's start with the lower risk, kind of unglamorous cash engine that funds absolutely everything else in this incredibly ambitious $13 billion plan. Think about the sheer scale comparison here. We go from 32 teams in 64 matches in Qatar to a sprawling 48 teams and 104 matches across the US, Canada, and Mexico in 2026. This isn't a new product at all. It's the exact same flagship World Cup sold to the exact same global audience. The difference is simply quantity. We're talking more matches over 39 days, much larger stadiums, and premium ticketing. By simply selling more of the known product to the known audience, FIFA expects the 2026 tournament alone to generate around $8.9 billion. It's textbook low-risk market penetration, and honestly, it is the financial bedrock of their entire operation. But FIFA isn't just relying on penetration. They're also hitting the market development quadrant. This is where you take your existing product and introduce it to a completely new market. By staging the event across 11 host cities in the United States, which, by the way, is widely considered the largest under-monetized men's football market on earth compared to giants like the NFL or NBA, FIFA is looking to convert casual, passing attention into durable, long-term demand. With those 48 teams, they're activating brand new national fan bases. It's a textbook medium-risk move aimed at cracking North America for a highly lucrative commercial decade. Next up, Section 3, new product, known audience. Let's talk about the Club World Cup. Now we're shifting our focus to the right side of the matrix, stepping into the medium to high-risk territory of product development. This quadrant grew very quietly when FIFA launched the heavily expanded 32-team Club World Cup in the US in 2025. You might remember Chelsea beating Paris Saint-Germain 3-0 in the final. This was an entirely brand new flagship product, a massive club mega event that FIFA owns directly. But they were selling it to their existing market of massive football fans. And the result? It pulled in roughly $2.1 billion in income. So they successfully created a new product for an existing audience. Sounds absolutely great, right? Well, Well, the Matrix forces us to ask a really difficult question, which is perfectly captured right here. A second summer mega event can cannibalize sponsor budgets and fan attention from the World Cup itself, rather than enlarging the pie. Think about it. Does a brand new second mega event justify its slot on the calendar? Or is it just going to dilute the massive attention and sponsor dollars meant for the main World Cup? That is the ultimate tension of product development. You might not actually grow the overall pie, you might just be slicing it up differently. Which brings us to Section 4, the high-risk gaming gamble. Time for diversification. Okay, things get extremely risky here, where FIFA is betting on completely new products for entirely new markets. After ending their incredibly comfortable 30-year licensing partnership with EA Sports, where, let's be real, they essentially just collected a massive check every single year, FIFA has decided to become a games publisher themselves. And they're building a sprawling multi-game ecosystem. We're talking FIFA Rivals, a Web3 mobile arcade game. And just to clarify, Web3 basically means it relies on blockchain technology and digital collectibles instead of your traditional game purchases. That's launching alongside a Netflix-exclusive simulation in summer 2026, plus collaborations with Roblox, Epic, Konami, and Sega. So why is this so incredibly risky? Because the product is entirely new to them, and the market, an estimated 1.8 billion digital native gamers and Web3 collectors, is a completely different audience with totally different buying behaviors than your traditional broadcast football fans. They're relying on unproven monetization models and going head-to-head against entrenched giants like EA Sports FC. This is the literal definition of high-risk diversification. And that leads us to our final act, Section 5, the 12-month sprint, all 4 quadrants at once. Now, while most massive corporate entities execute moves through the Ansoff Matrix one quadrant at a time, moving slowly over several years to manage their risk, FIFA is doing something dangerously rare. Just look at how densely packed these dates are. June 2025, they dropped the massive Club World Cup. That's product development. Ongoing throughout this whole period, they're launching Web3 games. That's diversification. Then, smack in the middle, June 11, 2026, the 48-team World Cup kicks off across North America, hitting both market penetration and market development at the exact same time. And right on the heels of that, in summer 2026, the Netflix game launches. Even more diversification. FIFA is literally sprinting through all 4 quadrants of corporate growth strategy within a single, highly pressurized 12-month window. It is an astonishingly aggressive timeline. So how can they possibly afford to take on so much risk all at once? Well, it all comes back to the math. Out of that $13 billion target, the 2026 World Cup alone makes up the vast majority at $8.9 billion. The Club World Cup accounts for $2.1 billion, and the remaining portfolio makes up the last $2 billion. The logic here is pretty straightforward. As long as the low-risk World Cup throws off its $8.9 million, FIFA has the structural cash engine to safely underwrite all these simultaneous, high-risk gambles in gaming and new tournaments. Essentially, the core business funds the risky frontier. Which brings us to our final lingering thought. By looking at FIFA through the Ansoff framework, we are forced to end on this ultimate question of proportionality. Is that $8.9 billion World Cup engine truly generating enough cash and, just as importantly, enough management bandwidth to successfully underwrite a second mega event and build a from-scratch video games business all at the exact same time? The framework perfectly labels the risks, but it doesn't give us the answer. Only the post-tournament financial accounts will truly be able to tell us if this $13 billion ultimate growth bet actually paid off. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. What do you think? Is FIFA moving way too fast, or is this the perfect time to strike? Let that question sit with you and keep a close eye on how this fascinating strategy unfolds over the next year.